Now, this video is a speculation video of the third spin-off of Villainous, because let's face it, Villainous has so many characters, so many different ways to approach it that could be very interesting to choose any random character. But at the same time, not every random character deserves their own basically show, in other words, because they have to have a story. Like, one of the biggest examples is sort of like Maniac. There's a very interesting character to look at, but she doesn't talk. It's her partner who talks, who actually are henchmen now, or at least that's the only information we have about them. But at the same time, it feels too the same as the original show, so that does not make sense. Their other characters could be a better choice, like Bloodhound. Now, to me, Bloodhound makes sense because what happened in the story of the original comic, the first comic of Little Rescue, that Bloodhound got captured by Peace but moved in the Pacific prison made for villains. This prison quite literally floats on the sky, have basically weapons. Basically, this tower, this plane, this prison is basically Shield's basically own flying machine onwards. It's the same thing, but the only difference is it flies downwards, but it's super protective, and anyone get near it or tempted to take over the whole plane, the whole battleship thing, quite literally falls down in crashing and burns in case of an emergency. To me, that makes sense. That could be a very interesting follow a character like Bloodhound in the prison to see what tactical things she would do next to get out of this sort of floating prison. And that has a lot of possibilities, at least one of, because you have other characters, but none of them really stand out to me to be main lead material now, except for one, Dark Phantom Jr. Why? I have to think, because he is completely opposite than everybody there. Because you watch Villainous, the TV series, or read all the comics, or read everything what basically Villainous franchise really is. Everybody is basically competent. Like, they know what they're doing. They know the limitations. They know, okay, this is too big for me. I have to walk away. But Dark Phantom Jr. is so opposite and also interesting. He's also very funny. Is the fact he is a nipple baby, or nepotism, or just nipple baby in general, especially people who got born into the job because their parents, it is the job. They sort of follow and get basically an opening door because it's basically the family business, in other words. And he's not the only character. You also have Miss Seed, could also be considered a nipple baby, because the only reason why she actually jumped to the villain side to the hero side is because the father influence that we don't know what type of influence her father really has. We know her father has power, but we don't know what type of power. And not just him, you also have maybe going on hard, but once again, we could be sort of stretching the idea. But to me, I feel Dark Phantom Jr. is a perfect character to follow a own TV spin-off following this sort of failure of a nipple baby, because compared to Miss Sade, who is another nipple baby, she is successful. She is omnipotent. She has researched how to basically get out of this sort of situation, or call her daddy to do sort of things for her to help her out. But Dark Phantom Jr., he's just straight out of failure. He is that sort of Sailor cartoon villain that is just a loser. In fact, his best friend slash partner, Gil, is more competent, more efficient. He's basically Batman, in other words. But the only difference is his career never flew off because of Dark Phantom Jr. It's sort of obvious. He's sort of his assistant. He can't really get out this sort of kind of business kind of deal, in other words. Of course, before I keep breaking down, my name is Recho. I like to talk about animation, not just animation, through reviews, first impressions, cartoon theories, and sometimes, if I have spare time, cartoon breaking news. Of course, you like how it's going, you like to help my channel, put a like, comment, and subscribe. That's the only thing to do. If not, that's fine. If you do, thank you. Because of you, I'm getting close to my main goal of 2,000 subscribers. And thank you, because of you, people put like, comment, and share really helps out. Now let's get started with the sort of kind of opinionated what could be the third spin-off of Villainous. Now, the reason why I chose Dark Phantom Jr., to me, I feel would be more interesting to compare and contrast with Messid and Dark Fennec Jr. Like the reason why he became an official villain, how he get in the organization, especially your father, who is very similar to him, but it seemed to me he's more respected and also could having a top hat, sort of high ranking in the Black Hat organization. Of course, some of you are not deep lore. If you don't know, inside the Black organization, they have a ranking system using hats. The more fancy the hat, the more power you have. And it seems to me Darth Vader Sr. has a top hat. That means he is one of the most high ranking members in the whole organization. In other words, if he says he stays, his son, protect him, everybody needs to protect him because one of the higher rankings says it. That's the interesting part. I also could follow how many people feel about him, because we got a small glimpse of little rescue from the first comment of Villainous that you can actually read for free, because that's free promotion if you're wondering. And yes, there are fan translation, you can easily find it online, but other than that, everybody just sort of tired of Dark Fennec Jr. because how incompetent. You also, if you read basically the book of Black Hat, the manual of being evil by Black Cat. I'm sorry, sort of kind of forgot the name for a little while, but that manual has a lot of pitches of Dark Fennec Jr. that someone in the fan base really does notice, because he'll be used a lot of that book as sort of like a running gag, especially sort of questionnaires of some of the villains. He's always probably the third character being used for a punching line, for a joke, but yet he's just so comical and sort of charming, sort of kind of failure boy kind of vibes, that you are just sort of intrigued by him, wondering what type of hero will actually take him on as an arch rival. And that's just sort of interesting, because he is a loser, someone that is not really threatening. At least that's how he was presented himself in the books, in other words, and some of the little shorts. But you're kind of wondering, can you make a show of Dark Vader Jr.? In a way, yes, because you can easily be attached to this character because you want him to succeed. You want him to be, I don't know, good, in other words. Especially everybody doubts him. The only one feels who partly given his confidence is his sort of right-hand man, Gil. He feels that they have a very strong bonding. Even that little small snippets of sort of interaction of Gil and also Darth Vader Jr. The book do point out they were actually really good friends back in high school. It sort of makes sense. They get stuck together. They have Gil still becomes his sort of right-hand man. But once again, it's sort of your interpretation. It's sort of a punishment for Gil being the right-hand man of Dark Vader Jr., or you could read it as sort of he has a crush on him, or he's gay from Dark Vader Jr., or he's just a very confident man, but the only problem he's stuck with them. You could also read it that sort of frustration, like, why I'm stuck with this bro? I cannot leave this guy. I cannot let go because I have a contract. Like, you could explore that relationship with the spin-off series to see why Gil sticks with Dark Vader Jr. That could be a very interesting sort of point of view. I mean, that's what I mean. I feel of all the characters, Dark Vader Jr. has the most potential to also see what his father looked like and also how he feels about his son. Of course, they say in the books that he's similar to Dark Vader Jr., but we don't know how similar, like just in looks or personality, or his actually father is actually a tyrant, but he kind of disappointing he has a son like him. You see what I mean? This could be interesting if his father is just disappointing him. He's just protecting him. He's so incompetent. I don't know why I waste my time with my own son. Could be very compelling following a character like Darth Vader Jr. But also you can easily compare it to Miss Seat, because she is still a nipple baby, that you're wondering how she's compared to her father, to her, that she feels used, or you compare back and forth for both of them. You feel you prefer, you feel you have a better understanding how Miss Seat becoming Miss Seat, and Doc Fanning Jr. becoming Doc Fanning Jr. You can see compare and contrast of this sort of possibility of a nipple baby being good because she's talented, and someone like Doc Fanning Jr. who is not talented but let the doors open because of the father. That could be a very interesting look of a nipple baby in the universe of Villainous. The possibility is there. It's just so fascinating because I think either other character can actually have more intriguing plot story, because you can follow all the characters. There are other characters that have no backstory. They're there in the behind the scenes. You can reuse them and come up with a different story, even a better story than Doc Fanning Jr. But to be fair, Doc Fanning Jr. is just sort of kind of interested to see what will happen next if done well. If they decide to make this a spin-off series, at least that's sort of the possibility in other words. Of course, you follow a new, completely different character or semi-new character like Poker Face now words, or Maniac, or you prefer another male lead completely different from Doc Fanning Jr., someone's competent but charming, like Casino now words. But I don't know if Casino can pull it off, or we can follow Casino in the sort of kind of gangster universe, even that we did that in the last issue of High Risk. But once more, it's just sort of an opinion. You could do whatever you want. In fact, what do you want to follow? A new character, Doc Fanning Jr., or you prefer another character you've seen behind the scenes, you think, wait a minute, this has potential, just add more stuff into it. Tell me down below how you actually feel, because let's face it, to me, the best bit is Doc Fanning Jr., because how much used in sort of the manual of Black Cat, because that book, he was used a lot, so that could be a hint he could be the next character be used. I don't know you, or you think you just don't care, you want a different character. Oh, hey, why not go the crazy route? Let's follow Golden Heart, because that the character that everybody's super interested, but at the same time you could easily screw up, because once again, the most interesting thing about Golden Heart is we don't know nothing about him. The only thing we know is his relationship with Dr. Fleck. Once again, it's sort of whatever you think is the best idea. For right now, I don't know you, I want to follow Doc Fanning Jr. I feel he has more interesting plot story you can actually use and expand on, because the very end is that if you choose a character that doesn't have an interesting backstory or something so interesting you can follow, if you don't have none of those stuff, the character will fall flat and not really interesting or relate to that character. Or you don't have to relate, you need to be interesting to follow that character in other words. I don't know you, what you think, which character you should follow or not follow, or what is your opinion? Tell me down below, let me know. I got nothing else to say, just thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and have a wonderful day. Bye.